when we join the action early in the third set.
Center court, Wimbledon. Andre Agassi with a 2-set lead and on serve in the third. Agassi, who startled some of the tennis folks here in London, as he is wont to do, by arriving just 4 days before the championship. And the word was, John McEnroe, that he worked out on hard courts back home.
That's a couple days earlier than he did in '92, so it's an improvement.
Said he hadn't been on a grass court since losing to Pete Sampras here last year in the quarterfinals. And I said, but wouldn't you like to try the grass? He said, no. He said, to hone my strokes, he said, I just get on a hard court. I want that bounce all the time. He's a Wimbledon champion, so it's hard to argue with that.
You remember 2 years ago, he lost in the semis to Courier at the French, didn't pick up a racket for 2 weeks, came here, practiced for a day and a half before the first round match, and won the event. Now, I wouldn't recommend that. Most players do not do that. Most players play the at least one warm-up tournament leading up, if not two.
Except Borg never did he?
There's that drop shot again, a very, very low percentage shot on grass.
15 all.
I'm sure Andre knows that Aaron's not known for his quickness around the court, but he's certainly improved that over the years, and it's a very good shot maker. Easy put away for Aaron there. You're right about Borg, but he did practice 6 hours a day on the grass courts for 2 weeks leading up to here. He came over to London 2 weeks early for that.
Speaking of Borg, Bud Collins, I just think it's one of the most remarkable records in modern tennis history, that Borg could win French on the slow clay and Wimbledon on the fast grass 3 consecutive years, win both tournaments, just a couple of weeks apart. Stunning.
Unique.
Top of the tape.
Well, if you had asked Bjorn Borg about grass court preparation, he would have told you the opposite that Agassi did. He would have told you it was all about getting used to the grass courts as opposed to the bounce. See that Agassi put away, hit the let cord. So everyone has their own. Basically, the moral is do what's best for yourself.
Game Agassi.
It's 2-all in the third. Third ace for Agassi. Did you go home after Paris and work on grass?
Nope. Only the years I didn't do well. Definitely would be the preferable play to come here and get some grass court play. Andre's the only player I know that does this type of preparation.
Well, he's different, and that's one of the reasons I think the British fans really enjoy him. A little unpredictable, and that's
and since they're so predictable, they like a little unpredictability.
Fifth double fault.
They loved you.
I was so predictable, though.
Yeah, that was they departed from that.
They like the Irish too.
Ooh.
We see a fairly rare venture to net for Aaron Krickstein. Fairly easy overhead put away there. That's good movement there. Cut off that stroke. We saw Krickstein off the court. Watch him there. Move in quickly. Not an easy volley from that position. Difference being he knew if he just got it in, he'd win the point. That's why he could hover around the service line for that. That's a big forehand. You just have to time this forehand impeccably here. No chance for Andre Agassi. Should all mention, too, last year Agassi did play a warm-up event. Aaron showing his nice touch off that backhand. And he lost in the first round to Carl Steve, who was not known as a grass court player. No chance once again for Agassi.
Charlie Stebb has been a nemesis for him throughout his career.
Lost that big Davis Cup match to him.
Well, Krickstein has lost his serve only twice, and it cost him 2 sets. We're 2-all in the third.
Some very high quality points here, followed by unforced errors. Neither player terribly consistent in this match.
Uh-oh.
Well, I've always thought that backhand overhead's the toughest shot in the game. Aaron had to hit that shot here. Just put it right back in the middle of the court. Agassi going behind him for that pass.
Well, a rare, wild forehand from Krickstein, and Agassi has his first break point here in this third set.
He's probably still upset over that backhand overhead, giving him that second opportunity.
Good.
A little closer than they would have liked there. Big first serve, wasted no time, stepped right up there. Very close there, but just inside the baseline.
Oh!
Oh, and Krickstein has the point.
Aaron showing some good mobility here. Good effort to run that down, but easy put away from that point on. Andre should have hit the two-hander there. I think he was surprised he had a chance at it.
Well, he stayed in the point. One of those shots almost from his knees.
Uh-oh.
It's wide.
Both players don't seem to want to come to net until they've hit an absolutely huge approach shot. Aaron did so. Caught that ball just a touch late. First serve got a little more stick on in this set. And that was an example of a very good time to hit that drop shot. You can see here Aaron Krickstein moving back. Andre picked up on that immediately. Too far behind the baseline to have a chance at that. But once again, misses the return. Both players hoping to string a number of points together here, get some momentum.
Hottest day of the summer here in England. Temperature at center court well into the 90s, and now at least there's some cloud cover. The sun not really Beating down on these fans that surround center court. There are some thunder showers forecast for later tonight.
Advantage Krickstein.
Trying to cut that forehand a little bit too close. Should be thankful they weren't in New York last week. Extremely hot. Once again, you see Andre catching that ball just a touch too late. Beautiful, beautiful backhand pass. Nothing Aaron Krickstein could do there. See a good deep forehand there. Krickstein with the approach. Fairly deep approach.
Gets
Andre
to
with
that shot so early, doesn't he?
That half volley off the baseline. And then follows it with another missed return.
Advantage Krickstein.
So another 7-deuce game, and Krickstein wearily celebrates, holding. It's 3-2 in the third. Final point of that last game, and Krickstein saying, thank goodness, not only that I won, but that it's over.
Just saying, can't we play no ad scoring?
Yeah, at college.
They played an hour and 48 minutes, but in this heat and humidity, well, you can just look at Krickstein, and that tells the story.
Heat not normally a factor over at the All England club.
So Agassi 2-3 in the third, leading 2-0. And he's still not happy at all with the way he served today. As he comes back to, well, let's watch this first.
Well, he kept running through this forehand, which is why I believe he missed it. The other possibility is trying to hit too close to the line. For the layman, you want to aim about a foot inside the line. Play it a little safe. Even the top pros should do the same thing.
Looked like a tired attempt there by Aaron, didn't it?
I have to aim about 5 yards inside the court, and then I sometimes get it.
See their first serve percentage picked up somewhat since the first set. Considering neither player is really serving in volley, though, that's not a very high percentage.
No.
Or going for a big first serves. Aaron's doing more of that in the third set. Andre seems content to more or less spin his serve in, try to get some good placement.
Good return by Krickstein, 40-30. As we look at Agassi's serve, you were so successful with that Louis Tiant peekaboo positions on your serve, hiding your serve. I'm surprised no one else has tried it. Was it that difficult, that unique?
I'd like to say yes, but I don't think so.
Oh, I think it was. I think they'd forget where they were serving.
You see the Andre Agassi serve. At least he's not serving that half motion he did last year. We saw it during the Wimbledon fortnight. Gets up nicely for that serve. Once again, content to stay back on it, however.
Who advised you, or how did that evolve, your service position, where you almost had your back to your...
Actually, I started because I had a lower back problem. It was stiff there, so I started leaning over to try to loosen my back up, and suddenly it fell into this rhythm. It's the only thing I ever taught myself. My coach, Tony Palafox, taught me my game, and then when I learned that serve, he learned it for me, went back into his.
Let's look at Krickstein and his service motion.
Stands pretty straight up. You can basically see by that motion he's not going to come into a net. Andre Agassi possesses one of the best overheads in the game. This finish about my coach, Tony Palafox, he went back to the tennis court and learned how I did it so that when I said, what am I doing wrong, that he would know. So he was a big help to my game. I said before, Agassi was one of the best overheads in the game, forehand and backhand. It's a big chance here to put this match away.
Little too fine with that backhand, 30-all.
Well, the Kricker came in here in 1985. He was 17 years old. He was seeded. He played Buddy Schultz in the first round. The court was slippery. Aaron looked like he was on ice skates out there. He had no idea of what to do. Lost to Buddy Schultz, who's now the pro at Longwood Cricket Club in Boston. But he's come along on grass. He ducked the tournament the next 3 years then. He didn't like it at all. Who?
Krickstein's career record here at Wimbledon, 8-4 coming into this match.
See that grip, a little bit a la Alberto Berasategui, not quite over as much. Big forehand nonetheless. I'm sure you mentioned Bud Schultz because he's a fellow Bostonian, right?
You bet. Good fellow. But it was an extraordinary result because nobody knew who Buddy Schultz was, and Aaron was seeded. But it figured because Buddy was a good serving volleyer and Aaron was as though he was in the Sargasso Sea.
Longwood Cricket Club used to be that great event up there.
It may come back one of these days.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Used to be the lead up to the U.S. Open, the way Queens was for Wimbledon.
Game Krickstein.
Krickstein holds. They move along on serve in the third. Aaron Krickstein, we mentioned his Wimbledon record prior to this match with Agassi, 8-4, and Grand Slam could have been a contender.
Well, he lost to Boris Becker in that semifinal, and that was when Boris, despite his 2 Wimbledon champions in 85 and 86, I think he was at the height of his powers in 89. Played a magnificent final and beat Ivan Lendl in 4 sets. And Kricker had a really fine tournament.
His best at Wimbledon, 4th round, and that's what he's shooting for against Agassi today.
15 love.
Becker went on to win the Australian about 3 or 4 months later, really solidified what most consider to be a #1 ranking, only to lose it the following week.
Yeah, and hasn't been back. Oh, serving volley.
Agassi taking that high ball in the air. Knew all he needed to do was get that ball over the net. 30 love. See Aaron talking to himself there. He knows he didn't put enough on this return. Agassi loves to sort of scoop that ball up, almost like a half volley.
And an ace, 4-all. Andre Agassi, his report card in Grand Slams, we'll be checking that. There it is, 17-3 here at Wimbledon. Let's go back to the Grand Slam record of Agassi in 17-3. The fact he didn't like grass in Wimbledon first, that's a remarkable number. 63-18 overall, and best ever, despite the fact everyone thought if he was going to win a Grand Slam, it would be in Paris or U.S. or even Australia, and he comes here at Wimbledon. That was the marvelous surprise for the Agassi camp.
Plus, the first time he played here, he lost to Henri Leconte.
And then he stayed away.
And Henri's an awful tough grass court player.
Well, of course.
Out. 15-13.
Well, you have followed him for his career, Bud Collins. Do any fans around the world love Agassi more than those that we're watching right here?
Hard to say, because he's really popular wherever he goes.
Terrific effort by Krickstein, but all he gets is a couple of break points against him for the effort.
The problem is, it looks like Krickstein's already in the 5th set. He's been running an awful lot on grass courts. Surprising amount, really. Yep.
And another chance to break Krickstein and then serve out the match.
Both players struggling a bit on their break chances. I thought the previous point he would have been well served to put some pressure on Krickstein, try to get into the net. Didn't do so, and then Aaron with that big inside-out forehand to get back to deuce.
Wonderful the way he puffs up his cheeks like Dizzy Gillespie, the old trumpeter.
What he does is very unusual, as he breathes out as he hits the ball.
Yeah.
You can actually hear him if you listen carefully. Andre's telling himself right now, why didn't I do that at 15-40?
Deuce.
Take this short ball, come in behind it, and put away the volley. Give him another chance at that break point. I think that's what you'll see.
They play 2 hours. Agassi leading by 2 sets, 4-all. Deuce in the 3rd.
Advantage, Krickstein. Deuce.
And what you'd like to do this next one is at least get the return back. See, once again, that big, nice, deep approach, helped by that Krickstein let court. There it is. It's not stringing enough points together in a row right now.
In the meantime, Krickstein having to labor through another long service game.
Thrown a lot of pitches, hasn't he?
You talked about the tremendous talent of Agassi, return to service.
There's a perfect example. He just took the pace of the serve, shortened his backswing, and just met the ball. Basically guided it down the line. Krickstein had no chance. That's about half as hard as Agassi's capable of hitting the return.
third break point.
Exactly what he needed to do there. Take that short ball and be aggressive.
Now let's see if he's following your long-distance coaching advice, John McEnroe.
And then to hit a shot like that.
I was going to say, let him just get the return in first, and we'll see.
Ladies and gentlemen, please don't call out as the players are about to serve. Thank you.
That certainly shocked Andre there. The Krickstein serve volley.
Advantage Krickstein.
Looked up, saw Aaron coming in, and put the ball in the bottom of the net.
That's what you mean by a smart player, Krickstein.
Krickstein surviving 3 breakers. 5-4 in the third. Welcome back to Wimbledon. In 2 hours and 3 minutes, these two men played 221 points. I mean, they're at a high level, fast pace. Get it in play and let's go to work. If you wanted to measure this in workout terms, it's great training for the next round for the winner, isn't it?
Well, it is and it isn't. They're hitting a lot of balls, but they're going to play a totally different player in Todd Martin. He's not going to be sitting back there at the baseline. Todd's 6'6" tall, will be hitting that big first serve.
And he's going to be taking his time.
Yeah. Martin, who beat Pete Sampras to win the Queen's Tournament on grass, the prelude to Wimbledon this year. Krickstein, a little more aggressive at
Love 15.
4-5.
This guy knows how to win.
He's ready to play 5. Just don't be fooled. He's had some tough serving games, but he's a leech. He'll hang on you, bleed you. He could play for the Knicks.
Agassi golfing that forehand into the far corner.
What else can you say about this forehand?
15 on.
Whoa. Timed it beautifully. Flicked that wrist cross court. And placed it well as well.
Oh, nearly. Malcolm Fortescue, very close, but he will not ask out.
And it swung that boiler in the way there.
He's been hit before.
One reason why they should eliminate the let, so guys don't get hurt there.
You are a humanitarian after all.
We watch Aaron here a little bit. Looks a little fatigued. I'm not sure if he's faking it here, but he certainly didn't move too well to this shot coming up. Sort of labored over to that forehand volley.
And Malcolm Fortescue handles that chance very well. I agree with you, John. Why not have the serve just like any other point? Eliminate the let serve.
Quicken the match.
Play it.
Less question in the players' minds about whether it was a let, and certainly be more excited.
Sure would.
Love to see a match point. Guy diving for a return off a let court serve.
A dribbler.
14-30.
Loose forehand there from Andre after that absolutely tremendous forehand a couple points ago. Basically been the story of the match. He seems to be on top, but just can't quite get enough momentum going to put it away easily. And as Bud pointed out, not the type of guy you want to let hang around.
No.
And Agassi.
5-all. Well, is he good enough to win this championship, Andre Agassi? Should he move into the second week?
Well, he's proven that he's good enough to win the championship. Looks good for the Americans in the upper half. Number of fine Americans: Sampras, Chang, Agassi, Martin.
And down in the bottom. Not much.
Down in the bottom, we got to hope for our man Brian Shelton.
Shelton.
Be fantastic for him to see his run continue after beating Michael Steek first round. I believe the only American left in the bottom half of the draw.
Love 30.
New racket.
Another example of his intelligence. Try to change something up here. Agassi, uncanny at these passing shots. He seems to half volley almost. I guess what you call that. What do you call that shot, Bud?
Agassi.
The Agassi shot.
Look at those winners. 21 more for Andre Agassi.
I'm sure Andre must have seen Krickstein guess over here. Just was figured he'd win the point anyway. Krickstein with a great stab volley there to stay in this game. Would have been real tough at love 40. Big point for him.
But you have the sense that despite the fact that Krickstein is renowned for his staying power, that the weather and Agassi have beaten him up on this center court turf. And now another chance for Agassi. He's converted 2 of 10, 1 in the first set, 1 in the second to take the 2-set lead. Gets 2 more here to go 6-5.
Big Krickstein first serve. That's 2 for 11 for Agassi. Krickstein 0 for 5. Certainly a lot more difficult to break on the grass courts.
30-40.
Inevitably see a better percentage on the clay.
First service.
Andre love to see a second serve here.
And he gets one. See if he comes in behind it.
Well, Krickstein decided to hit another first serve. Goes for broke.
Use.
See Andre talking to maybe his coach, Brad Gilbert, saying that was a joke, that second serve. Effective joke. Got to hand it to Aaron Krickstein. He's had to work awfully hard off his serve in this set. Good deep approach, setting up that backhand volley. There's Brad Gilbert.
He lost to Javier Frana.
To Aaron Krickstein. Digs out of 15-40. It's 6-5 in the third. Well, the flair of the charismatic Agassi against the grit of Aaron Krickstein. And Krickstein, while down 2 sets, showed that he doesn't give anything away. He's going to battle you every way he can. And a remarkable save of serve in that last game.
Really a well-played point by both players there. Aaron could have done a little more with that volley, but that is not an easy shot to hit. Top spin lob winner.
That serve looked long.
30 love.
Seeing Aaron after he lost that previous point, knowing he should have done more with that backhand volley.
He has wonderful hands, doesn't he?
Well, he sees the ball so well, but he's also got some nice hands, underrated at net. Actually volleys pretty well. It'd be well served to get up there more, especially when he hits those big approach shots. The serve, probably the weakest part of Andre Agassi's game. Doesn't win enough free points off that serve.
Game Agassi.
Good. We go to the tiebreak. Agassi has not been successful in this situation in this Wimbledon as he checks the skies as they increase in darkness. He is 0-for-3 in tiebreakers in this championship. And the career records in tiebreakers, Krickstein,
not too good for either player, really.
At least in the plus column for Aaron.
Yeah.
And that's reflected probably in some of those 5-set wins of his.
1-0, Krickstein.
So many chances for Agassi to win this third set and avoid this tiebreaker. Fourth double fault.
2-0, Krickstein.
A mini for Krickstein.
Agassi needs to stay positive here. He's still in position to win this match. He's had numerous opportunities. They should come up again if he continues to stay focused. Doesn't want to let any loose points get away from him right now.
Well, he follows it with an ace, his fifth.
Just feel Krickstein wanted to run around that backhand. So did Agassi. Slices it out nicely to that forehand side. Krickstein up a mini break.
Didn't do anything with that ball, Aaron.
You're right, bud. He's got to go for a lot more on this shot. Content just to slice it back to the Agassi backhand. Well, he's lethal there.
Just long.
3-2.
Loves to hit those half volley baseline passes followed by an unforced error, at least in this match.
Got a great pattern going, doesn't he? Marvelous than a mess. Marvelous than a mess.
Rambunctious fan. Desperate rhyme attempt there, though, wasn't it?
Ooh. Well, they'll change ends. Krickstein is yet not realizing the score. Now
To Krickstein.
we'll go to the opposite end as Agassi comes to the Royal box side. Down a mini break.
Didn't move his feet at all on that return. It was a big return by Krickstein, but you can't be surprised. We've seen enough of that in this match that Agassi shouldn't have been surprised by it.
Krickstein leading 4 points to 2. Agassi losing both of his service points, and Krickstein now can serve out this tiebreaker and win the third set.
And once again, he had an opportunity to come in off a big forehand, chose not to do so. Put more pressure on himself there and missed that backhand approach.
Krickstein.
So the 9 points, 6 have been breaks.
Both players feeling the nerves at this point. Both have an opportunity to really advance in this event. Todd Martin will certainly be an obstacle, though.
Winner meets Martin on Monday.
Second service.
Just barely got over the net there.
It's good. If Krickstein doesn't think so.
Calling that ball in.
High ball.
Chair umpire Kim Craven confirms the call. What an angle.
It looked like it caught the line from that replay.
And it appears just a very, very light drizzle starting. And so this match.
Can you imagine if they stop now? Boy.
They'll finish this tiebreaker if it's a downpour.
7:30 in the evening.
Oh!
Another line for Agassi. And with it, match point.
Match point as the rain picks up.
6-5 Agassi.
Krickstein trying to be aggressive, keeping that pressure on. Agassi just landing that passing shot inside the line.
Thank you. Quiet, please.
The Wimbledon champion 2 years ago, to the round of 16 on Monday. Aaron Krickstein made it a great fight. 6-4, 6-3, 7-6. And the rains come to center court.
And next for Agassi, the 6'6" Todd Martin. He seeded 6th. Agassi seeded only 12th. And Martin, the conqueror of Pete Sampras in the recent Queens tournament on grass. You'll see that match as part of our coverage tomorrow, starting at 10 Eastern, 9 Pacific. And when we come back today, we'll ask Andre about the upcoming Sweet 16 encounter with Martin, Britain's favorite athlete. Andre Agassi joins us in our studios right after these words. And fresh off the courts at nearby Orangi Park from a practice session on this Sunday, Andre Agassi, the 1992 Wimbledon champion joins us. Does that sound good? The
That has a nice
1992
little
Wimbledon.
ring to it, doesn't it?
There's no exaggeration about the love that the British have for your play and your personality. In fact, you're telling us you can't even go to breakfast in peace.
But neither mine towards being here, you know. There's something about playing here that just seems to bring out the best in my game and, quite honestly, even my personality. Somehow I just come alive when I'm out there on the court, and I just love being here. And to be this appreciated, it really, it's a nice little love affair that I have going here that I hope never changes.
But Andre, after the absence, was there a fear of grass that you didn't return for so long? What changed it? What turned it around and made this love affair bloom?
Well, I missed Wimbledon for a few years and obviously, you know, got criticized for it, and justifiably so. And you can't go too long into your career before you come and experience, you know, what Wimbledon has to offer, not only tennis but sports. And I just made the decision. This is a year I'm going to come do it, and this is a year that I'm going to prove, hopefully, to the world and to myself that I can win on grass. And had a great performance, got to the quarterfinals and showed up in white. And I think that's what started our little, you know.
And there are so many questions to ask you, even off Bud Callen's tongue-in-cheek piece here. But one that I think America wants to know is Brooke Shields going to be here if you go on to the finals?
Well, I certainly hope so. Let me put it that way. I don't know yet. You know, what can you say about these career women? You know, they got things that they're doing and things that they have to do. But having her here would be important to me. So I'm hoping that would be the case.
She's been invited then?
Oh, she's invited everywhere I go. Yeah.
Now, how do you compare your play through the first week of this Wimbledon with your championship year? Are you in the same pattern, the same level?
I think so. You know, I think that the first week is really, for me, the most crucial week because it's the most danger. The grass is playing a lot faster, and you got a lot of these dark horses that can come in and just serve a ton, like we've seen Brian Shelton upset a few people, or even Guy Forget, or it's a week that if you can survive, you can work yourself into the tournament, and then you can legitimately feel like you have a shot to win it. And that's, to me, the second week really is the start of the tournament. Now we get out there and it's time to play, and I feel like I'm almost perfectly ready to peak.
I see the scar on your right wrist. A year ago, you were really remarkable. You were overweight, your wrist was hurting, and yet you barely missed out on beating the champion, Pete Sampras, in the quarterfinals. But was your career over if you hadn't had the surgery on your wrist?
Without the surgery, it definitely was over. I mean, there's no way with the pain that I was feeling on impact with that ball, especially with serves coming at you at 120 miles an hour. I couldn't, my wrist couldn't have taken that kind of pounding. The surgery was inevitable at a certain point, and I think the weight factor here last year was just a reflection of my discouragement and my disappointment with the fact that I was having a career-threatening injury, and that left me feeling very, you know, gosh, just unsettled. And I managed to come here and still play some of my best tennis, and that kind of says a lot more for what this place does for me. But it was a tough time for me, and I got through it.
Center court tomorrow, you're first up against American Todd Martin. Give us a scouting report. How have you done against the big guy?
Well, you know, Todd and I have played 3 times in the recent past, in the past year, and he has beaten me twice, and I've beaten him once. He's an incredible tennis player. I mean, he's, you know, big guy, 6'6", and the guy can serve a ton, and he takes big chances on the ground. He returns well. Only weakness in his game I'd have to point to would be his movement, and it's going to be important for me to exploit that by hitting the returns well, taking control of the point at the early start. That's going to be the key for me. But he takes big chances and he goes for a lot, and you know, he rolls the dice. But you know, I'm from Vegas. I don't mind rolling that dice either.
Well, we're going to be right watching every toss for you, and hope you roll your number. Thank you for taking time to visit with us, Andre. Yeah, I join the British fans in enjoying your every shot.
Well, I appreciate that.
And overshadowing even Andre Agassi for a moment in time this past week was Lori McNeil. Oh, she single-handedly altered the women's tournament. A look back at her amazing triumph, the upset over Steffi Graf, when we return.